What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the Edison Club podcast. I'm joined today by a special guest, Yu-Gi-Oh legend Tom Mack. Tom, thanks for
How's it going, guys?
sitting down with me today. It's been a long time coming. I've known Tom for a while. I bought some cards from him off some of his for sale posts that he makes. He has a lot of really cool stuff. You should definitely check those out. But we pretty much officially met at YCS Richmond, right? That was like the first time.
Yeah, I think I saw you at nationals, but I didn't know if that was actually you until I saw you again. I think at um, I forgot Christian's store in Reading, PA.
Oh yeah, that's
Game.
right. That's right. I did. I think I got some sleeves or something from you there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I remember seeing
store.
you at Nats, and I think you had a mask on, and I hadn't seen you without a, or let's see, you didn't have a mask on at Nats, but I'd
No.
only seen you with a mask, and I was like, I don't know if that's him or not.
Yeah, I was in the same boat. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just like, well, I'll just maybe he'll come up to me. So,
Yeah,
um,
at the school PA, you were like, I'm the guy in the gray shirt. And I was like, oh shit, that was you at Nats.
yeah. And then we kind of like I guess officially met at Richmond. We kept getting seated next to each other throughout the whole day, and then we had to play a few times throughout that run as well. And we had some good games, that was for sure.
Yes, yeah, I was like, yeah, I recognize you.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah. That event was insane. I will never forget that event. Um, so like every Yu-Gi-Oh player has a story. How did you get into playing Yu-Gi-Oh?
so I'm one of the really old time players. I remember I bought like I begged my dad to buy me like Yu-Gi-Oh packs. I saw it on the show, and I still remember to this day the first thing I pulled was a Dark Fire Dragon first ed, and I was like, I don't know what this card is, but the dragon so it looks really cool. And I was like, yeah, I was still just one of those really basic players, oh, Blue Eyes White Dragon, looks really cool.
Yeah, the
Like,
classic.
yeah, the very, very classic stuff. Then yeah, then we tried hard to find stores that sell Yu-Gi-Oh stuff. And eventually ended up with I guess it's technically my first local store. And we just kept going back there to buy more packs, and that way we got introduced to players. And I was probably maybe in fifth grade, I would say. So clearly I was inexperienced and just I just like shiny things.
Right.
So
Yeah.
just kept doing that. And yeah, eventually once I got settled into my first store, I found the next store, which I guess kind of like introduced me to a more competitive scene. And then moved into the next store, which got me into really competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! So it just kept snowballing and became a bigger thing. So,
Right. Gotcha. That
but
makes sense. Yeah, you so it seems like you had the same beginning as like a lot of players. You obviously you watched the show and you saw the cards and um the classic case of the parents, taking you to the store and buying cards. What was your favorite card when you were a kid? Was it Blue Eyes White Dragon?
probably Blue Eyes, watching the episode where kind of dropping three Blue Eyes and the attack and shot out and stuff. I was like,
Yeah.
damn, so dope.
Yeah, that's still nostalgic. Like even now, like Dark Magician was my favorite card when I was a kid, and it's still one of my favorites now. So it's usually that case. It's either Blue Eyes or Dark Magician.
Yeah, very very standard, very standard. Nothing too special, but yeah, it definitely started for me there.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so you kind of got into the competitive scene and started to kind of work your way up the ladder. What was your first event that you did well at? Like your first, it could be a regional or YCS, anything like that.
So I think my first regional, I'll remember this because the place was so small, they had any overspill of players play in a subway.
What?
Uh yeah, I was
In a
like, all right, your
subway?
table like
That is crazy.
130 and up, you're next door. I'm like, that's a subway. Yeah, you see the table? I'm like, holy shit, like there's table numbers in the goddamn subway. This is
This is,
insane. So I
sir,
was
this is
like,
a subway.
yeah, I was like, this is crazy. I'm like, all right, we can get our food and just like wait, like that's kind of cool. So I started pretty back there, and I was playing this like really old deck called Tomato Control. Basically, it wasn't too obvious. You just play three Mystic Tomatoes, and you just abuse the crap out of him with like creature swap, um, and like recruiting like really good small dark monsters like Sangin, Don's Luke, Spirit Reaper, like stuff like that. So that was like the first one. I think I topped that too, which I was really excited for because I was like, oh, like I've seen that regional top mat, and I'm like, it's like the original one, like
Yeah,
just like a basic, like play mode, like the zones and all this stuff. I was like, oh
yeah.
yes, I got it. But when like we got to the front, they're like, hey, we don't have this, so we're giving you like this. It was like the red eyes, like zombie, like starter deck mat. I'm like, the fuck is this?
Oh no! I thought you were gonna go
I was
get up there
like,
and they're gonna like
I was
give you a
like,
Subway
man.
gift card or something.
Yeah, I was like, I'll take that. Like, this is literally a structure deck, like rubber plate. It was like Vampire Genesis, Red Eyes Darkness or something.
Yeah, I remember
And
that
I was
playmat.
so yeah, I was so pissed because like I saw some like really good players having like that other playmat. I'm like, yes, now I'm like one of them. Like
Yeah.
this is dope. I'm like, what the fuck? Now I just look like yeah, like I bought a starter deck and I printed this image on the mat. So like,
Yeah.
um yeah, so I was like, man, I'm really bummed out because like it was so epic. I started like in the subway, made a top eight, like this is cool. And I'm like, oh man, I still have no proof that like I topped like a regional. So
You started from the Subway and worked all your way up and got a structure deck playmat.
I was like, this is such an epic story. Like he started with nothing and he still ends up with, I guess, nothing.
With nothing. Well,
Yeah,
eventually you got there. So you topped the 2011 Nats, is that right?
yeah, 2011 Nationals at Pittsburgh.
Okay.
Yes,
Do you want to kind
that
of
was
tell us a little bit about
yeah.
how that was?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it was great. Like I honestly didn't think I was gonna go so far. Um, like the first thing I remember was like Konami or Upper Deck, whatever it was, like posted the Trishula play mat for Top Cut, and me and my friend saw it. I was like, this is the most beautiful mat I've ever seen. It's literally just Trishula, and it looks like he's like conquering the world because like it's just a world like globe picture that's on like on the mat at the bottom,
Yeah.
and Trishula looks like he's like going over it. So it looks like he's like, yeah, this is my world. So I was like, and I love Trishula. I love that car with a passion. So I was like, I really just want to get this mat, but like, if I get it, I get it. If I don't, it's like whatever. So then, like we were trying to debate what to play, and like I didn't really have too many cards. Like I had a good amount of cards, but like nothing like crazy. So I literally decided to play agents because I still played like in the Teledeck format. Um, and I was like, wait, this structure deck has a Dark Arm, three Stratos, three Allures. Like, why is no one else playing this deck? Like,
Yeah.
because everyone was on Tengu plants, like, or like just like plant decks, like just in general. And my friend Sean was trying to say, hey, like, our friend Nick made this like really cool plant deck. We should try it. I'm like, but this deck has three Dark Arm Dragons, man. Like, that's just crazy. So I ultimately just went with that. And I literally went to my store, also Universes, that was vending there. I got three structure decks. I put the deck in. I'm like, all right, let's just like fill in some blanks. And I was like just borrowing stuff left and right. Because again, I didn't really have too much stuff. I know I had mostly extra deck. Like, because the main thing I really wanted, like, the whole time was a DT Trishula. That card just looked insane. I would give up my life savings for that DT Trishula at the time. And I had, like, almost nothing else. So when I got the fairies decks and I put them all together, I kind of just like borrowed cards like here and there. I'm like, hey, like one Phoenix Chain, what does that do? He's like, well, it stops attacks. I'm like, give me it. I'm throwing it in there. He's like, I only got one. Like, that's fine. I don't give a shit. I'm throwing it in here. Like, what else we got? Like D prison. I'm like, what does it do? I was like, okay, all right, that's cool. I'll throw that in too. So I kind of just like monster mashed it in, and I was like, huh, I'm still like short by a couple cards, and I went through like some of my stuff and I was like, hey, like Gozen match, like this seems like a pretty solid card right now, and like I think it can work in agents. Like, you know what? Fuck it. We're main decking it. Just gonna see what happens.
This is
And
so unhinged. I love it.
yeah, it was a crazy event. And like I said, I didn't really plan for it. I didn't really test for it. I'm like, let's just go in and see how like roll the dice. And eventually, like I think at the end of the Swiss rounds, I was X2-1, and I was 63rd. 60 plays. I was like, yes, like got the Trish mat. Like, I don't care what happens. Like, I can get knocked out first round. I don't care about going to Worlds. I got the Trish mat. Like, we're good to go. So, like, sat down and I'm playing against like this really good Samurai player, Nizar Sarhan, whichever. Sorry. And like he was like insane. Like, I don't know if you've heard of him, but
Yeah.
he's like
Oh yeah. Yeah, I've heard of him.
a player. Like, he usually plays Samurai. And like I don't know if he like won two YCSs by that time. One, I know he won. I think he won at least one. But yeah, he was like stupid good player. I'm like, hey man, like I wasn't even nervous. I'm like, I'm just happy I got this Trish mat in front of me. Like I got what I came here for, and I'm like, all right, let's go. And I still remember this game because this was the funniest thing. Like I know like I won the whole thing, the match obviously, but it was like one of the plays I did. I like potted duality and I revealed a Venus, and like it was in games two or three, I can't remember, but so I potted duality for Venus, and I'm like, all right, set a monster, set a back row, and he's like, summon keys on attack. I'm like, because he like I was like, all right, I'm gonna see if I can bait him to see like I set like a Venus and like a protected trap so I can flip the Venus and do all this stuff. He's like, all right, summon keys on attack. Like he was really quick, summon keys on attack. I'm like, flip kinetic soldier, like take 2000. He's like, holy shit. Like,
Oh my
all right, my
god.
turn, drop. Yep. I was like, all right, summon Venus, triple shine ball. And like I I didn't care about that event so much. I almost always summon my shine balls in attack. I did not care. I'm like, you got mirror force? Good on you. Knock
Yeah.
me out.
Good
I don't.
job. If you got Mirror Force, you got it.
Yeah, I was like, if I'm paying 15, I don't want to leave people out. So I summoned three shine balls attack, switch kinetic soldier. I was like, tack kinetic, tack, tack, tack. He's like, yep. I'm like, wait, really? And I was like, oh, cool. And I don't think that was like game there, but like, yeah, I eventually just won. But I just remember that one person was like, oh man, like she did a pretty cool play. Like I made him think, like I add the Venus and like set it, and he just crashed in with the keys on and like just took 2000, took another 15, and took another 31. So I was like, wow, like that was actually pretty cool. Like little pat myself on the back right there.
Yeah, that was
So
a five head play.
yeah, so I was like, I'm like again, I was like, I just want to try stuff out. I never really like used the deck too much. So I'm like, let's just try it out.
Yeah.
And then like I just realized I was like, holy shit, like he was second place in Swiss because I was 63rd. And I was like, damn, I feel so bad. And while I stayed in the barricade, like like when they close off like top cut players from like everyone else,
Yeah.
like I still remember he like would walk around and like I see him at like wave high, and he just always flipped me off.
Oh
He
my
just
god.
kept putting the finger every time I saw him, and I'm like, no, we're friends or like nah, but I'm gonna say we're not. I feel like I just ruined this man's like career. The
Oh
fact that I
my
was like,
god.
I don't really care what happens. I got what I wanted, and I just kept going. And I'm like, all right. So he just kept like putting me off. Like every time I saw him, like, well, I guess there's no friendship here. Like I wanted to be friends, like, but it's like it's just
Yeah.
so funny
Can't be
the
friends
whole
after
time.
that.
Yep. And I was like, it happens, man. Like, and I get like I don't think, yeah, because like I literally had a starter deck. Like my stuff was not nice. Like, and I only remember this because I remember I took a picture of my deck. I lost the picture now, but it was like just commoned out the ass, except for the extra deck because it had a DT Trish.
Yeah. That's all that matters is the
Um,
DT Trish.
yep, exactly. Yeah. Then I don't remember like I played like top 32, but top 16 I had a feature match. Which it's funny because like that match, it's I don't think like if you go to like the event, like you can't even see it because it's like tagged under like YCS, not WCQ. So I'm like, man, like I'm just a big nobody. Like no one's gonna be fun. Like this sucks. Like whatever happened. But yeah, I played against like a hero beat and like that was really fun. And the funny thing was like I like the only thing I really knew about the deck because like my friend Ty told me about it. He's like, you always side out a third shine ball. Like I didn't know anything else. I just knew I'm siding out a third shine ball. That was it. And yeah, like that feature match though, it was crazy because if like I ended up trishing the guy, but I realized like he had super poly too, and he normal summoned an alias, I think, and I warninged it. I just realized like, oh shit, if he set the alias, set the super poly, and like took my board, I just lost.
Yeah, that would have been
So
crazy.
yeah, because like when I trished him, I hit like one of his heroes in his grave. He still had one left, and like an alias in his hand, I think. Um, but like he was still able to like do a super pod play, and I was like, oh my god, like that's crazy. That and like I opened double warning, so I was like, yeah, this was just insane.
Yeah, curtains
Um,
after that.
yep, pretty much. Yeah, and then like I got to top eight, which was like kind of funny because like that was like the easiest match. It was Malefic Skill Drain. And it's funny because me and my friend Sean, like, we used to go on like this really old website called Shriek. I think it's like Shriek OCG or whatever. It's like the site where like OCG decks like got posted, and we saw that deck, and I was like, okay, so like it plays like no defense like whatsoever, cool. And then I saw this guy playing his cards, like he showed me like Malefic Cyber End and like all stuff. I was like, I know exactly what you're playing, and you don't defend for shit. So like one game, I'm just like summon Earth, get an agent, like because he had Necrobound on the board. I'm like banish my Earth on field, and the agent I just searched for two Hyperions, smack you. Next turn he passed, smack you again in this game. I was like, this is like 3 minutes. Like this was like, I was like, holy shit! Like I'm going to Worlds now because like that was like top eight. I
Yeah.
was like, holy fuck. So yeah, and then uh, after that, yeah, then I played against like my friend Sam Patago with Tengu Plant or Tengu Toria Plant, and I still remember like I had a Gozen match face up, and he had Catastor on board, but I think I duality for Hyperion. I'm like, all right, next turn, I got you. Like, you literally cannot play another card because Gozen match is up. He rips Breaker. I was like, oh my god, it's a dark. Plays the breaker, breaks my Gozen match, and I think he just does like the plan shenanigans, and I lost. I was like, I was one win away from going
Oh,
to the final with this structure deck, and I was like, God damn it!
oh
Like,
my God.
I
You
was
literally
so
almost
salty.
won Nats with three structure decks.
Yes, I bought the decks, I made the deck there, and I almost won it there. And I was like, this was going to be epic. Like, got the Hyperion hand, loaded it up, drop it, hit him, game. Then he had Breaker. I was like,
Oh,
God damn it.
man.
I was, but I was like, all right, like it happens. I'm like, you better win now. Then of course he loses in the finals. I'm like, ah, could be me, but just winning instead.
Yeah, exactly. That would have been an even crazier story.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, man, yeah.
And then
But
you go up to
yeah.
the
So
front
overall,
to get your Trish mat, and they're like, "We ran out of Trish mats, but we have this vampire structure deck mat, so we're gonna give you that instead."
oh, I'm familiar with this, Matt. Like, do you have a nearby bathroom I use it as toilet paper or
Yeah,
something, or like,
yeah,
what am I
yeah. Actually, it's in the subway next door.
oh, perfect, perfect. Like, this is like my home here.
Yeah, yeah,
I know my way around. But
yeah.
yeah, no, but overall, yeah, like, it was that was just crazy. I think some like friends were going up like, yeah, like people like in the top eight poor, like, yeah, like we got money on you like winning because like treating like the Super Bowl kind of thing. It's like I'm like, what the fuck? Like really? Like I'm like, you realize I'm playing a starter deck. Like, yeah, but you're already here. I'm like, all right. Like, but yeah, like that was just yeah, that was a crazy time. But uh yeah, and then the thing afterwards, like it gets crazier because I didn't have my passport. I was 20 or what was it 2011? What was that? Yeah, I think it was like 2021. So I didn't have a passport, and I found out, oh yeah, these guys are going to Amsterdam. Like, where's that? Oh shit! Like,
Oh no.
that's pretty far. Like, never been on a plane. Like, never had a passport. So I was like, all right, I don't know how to apply for it. So I worked on applying for the passport. And like for some reason it took longer, even though I had it expedited. That oh yeah, it looks like there was some missing information. And I'm like, are you serious? Like you didn't like no one told me, so I just waited. And I contacted my state representative, said, hey, I'm trying to get my passport because I'm trying to like represent like our country at this world championship event for this card game. And like I don't remember like what happened in between with that, but like I did like talk to the guy and like the day of like we were supposed like I was supposed to like leave for like the airport and stuff like that because I could already book my flight and everything, so it was all good to go. And I still didn't have my passport, and I was like really bummed out. So my friend Sean and my brother were like dude, don't worry, like all you care about was the Trishman anyway. Like let's just like go out, get some food, and just like forget all about it. So we literally got into my friend's car in the driveway, and no shit, the mailman pulls up into my driveway and hands me like the package with my passport.
Oh my
And I was
God.
like, this is insane. Literally, like at that time, we were like in the car. We were about to reverse, pull out, and drive away. The mailman came up and handed me my passport. And I'm like, well, guys, I guess I'm going to Amsterdam to get my food.
Oh my God, that
So
is so amazing. It's like everything
yeah,
just worked out perfectly.
yeah, it was crazy. I was so bummed out because I'm like, man, I paid like I think it's like $200-300 to get it expedited. Like I didn't care about going to Worlds, but at the point where I was trying, I'm like, all right, like I'm actually pretty excited. Like get to go on a plane for the first time, out of country, all this stuff. And yeah, just like seconds later, if that guy showed up like while we were out, because like unless like my mom like contacted me or whatever, I would not have gotten my passport in time, and we would not have went to the airport. Like so, yeah, that's all. I was like, all right, this is meant to be. Like, come on, like this story would be insane if I can be like the first guy from like North America to win worlds and all this stuff. But yeah, so I was like, yeah, this is just crazy. That was absolutely crazy.
That is crazy.
Um,
Did you go to Worlds by yourself, or do they like let you bring a friend or anything with you?
I think you can only bring someone if like you're underage.
Oh, okay.
Like Hansel, he got to bring his brother, I believe, because like Hansel was a baby, like he was so young, but he won that, and I think he brought his brother for that reason, or I'm pretty sure. Um, but yeah, I mean, so yeah, so I went by myself, but I was on the same flight as the head judge of Worlds, Paul Fahey, and I was like, oh shit, like if I piss this dude off on the plane, he's going to just have it out for me because I think he was either in front of like the seat in front of me or behind me. And I'm like, I cannot bother this man because he is literally head honcho for the world championship I'm about to play in. So I was like,
Anything that man
shit.
asks you for, you better deliver. It doesn't matter what it is.
Yep, exactly. But I've known Paul for a long time. He was actually like the judge for like my locals for a while. But still, I was like, I need to keep this man like happy, like not be on his bad side. So I'm like, oh, like, would you like to recline your seat? Like, nope, because I'm gonna get in this man's. Yeah, I think he was behind me. I'm like, I don't want to knock over this man's drink or anything he has on my seat. I am going to stay where I am and just like pass out. So yeah, so he was on my flight with me, which helped me a lot more because like I was a little nervous to get on a plane that was going to Amsterdam of all
Yeah.
places going first.
Yeah, that's a crazy
So
first flight.
yeah, yeah. So the fact that he was there too, like someone I knew, I was like, all right, like I feel better. Um, and yeah, got to Amsterdam and you know got to play the Worlds. It's really cool. I mean, it's not as glamorous as it is now, that's for sure. But yeah, it was still a really cool experience though. So
That's awesome. What deck did you play at Worlds? Because they still doing like combined ban list at that time?
yes, yes. So like Reborn Tengu wasn't legal. Yeah, like basically stuff that was exclusive to like one country versus the other like wasn't legal. So I just went with agents again because I'm like, this is a starter deck. Like everywhere in the world has a starter deck. I'm going the same thing.
Yeah.
And I didn't really like have anything else. Like people like offer like low me decks. So I'm like, I literally played this deck for like 17 rounds. I'm like, I'm just gonna go with this. Like, I don't really care. Like people are like, oh, you didn't test for worlds. I'm like, not really. Like again, I was still kind of like a nobody at the time, so I'm like, I don't like have like pro players I can like test with or like stuff like that. So I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna go with a deck I'm comfortable with, which that's honestly like the best advice to like tell any player. Just go with like kind of like what you're comfortable with, and just figure it out like the rest of the way.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just went with eight. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. How did you do at Worlds?
I went 3-2 and I got 10th, unfortunately.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, the rest of us, like, I think, like, we all, like, played against each other. Like, I'm pretty sure I played against Hansel, like, round one. I'm like, all right, this is rigged. Like, Tom doesn't want us to win.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like,
absolutely
this is,
rigged. Putting you
yeah,
guys against each other.
I was like, if two U.S. players in the finals, there would be some way we won't win still.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
Just the
like,
fact that you got there, like everything that all the circumstances surrounding that, like the structure decks, not getting your pass or almost not getting your passport. That's insane. That's an
it
amazing
was,
story.
yeah, it was wild. It was wild. Um, but yeah, no, like overall, it was still a cool time. Like food was great over there. Like people were really chill. Um, but yeah, and also like this was how noob I was. Like when I went over there, I still heard like foreign cards was like the shit. And when I went over there, I still paid for swaps. So I'm like, oh, I could have done this for free because you guys actually want these cards.
Oh
So
no.
I still paid for swaps. I swapped my agent deck to be foreign, all this stuff, and I was like, wait, guys, like look at this agent deck. Yeah, all I paid was like $50. They're like, wait, why'd you pay? I'm like, what? Like that's usually what people do, right? Like not over there. And I was like, shit. Like yeah, they would have paid you. I was like, oh
Damn,
my
you're like, yeah, I
god.
got bamboozled.
Yep, yep. I
Damn.
was like, I deserve to get 10. Like,
That's awesome. That's such a good
yeah.
story. Have you you top or win any other big events throughout your Yu-Gi-Oh career?
Yes. So overall, YCSs and nationals, I have 9 tops.
Wow,
Uh,
that's crazy. That's awesome.
Yeah, but it's like it's funny though because I was a very under the radar kind of player because most of the time I would just like hop once or twice in a year, but very far, like time frame like in between. So like a lot of people still didn't really and like I didn't really do deck profiles really. Like sometimes like some friends like came up to me and like we did like a couple, but other than that, not really. But in 2014, that's when I first won YCS Chicago with Boo Jeans.
Oh wow.
And
Okay.
yeah,
I actually
um,
think I remember that. Like when we for some reason it wasn't long ago I googled your name and it showed up you'd been to Worlds and I was like, this is awesome. Like I know this guy. You know, I'm like telling my friends, I'm like, I know this guy. I've bought cards from this man, you know? And I think I remember the Bujin deck winning that.
yep, yep,
That was you.
that was really yes,
That's cool.
yeah,
Small world after
yeah,
all.
yep, exactly. Yeah, that was a kind of funny event too. 'Cause, yeah, I think that was Fire Priest, like Mermail, Girgia, and I went with uh, two of my friends and my brother, and it was mostly like me and my brother, John, that like we like share cards,
Yeah.
and I think like he took the Fire Fist deck, and I was like, all right, like what's left over, and my friend Gallo, I think he was doing really well with Boo Jeans, and I was like, oh, I think I can make this deck, so I put Boo Jeans together at the event as well. like, all right, like this looks like easy deck to play. Let's try it out. And I like honest to God, I did not know what Boudins really did. Like I still remember this. My round two opponent, he was playing Boudins as well, and I like went like exceed some Susano, search Crane, like tack directly, boost to 48 for game. He's like, dude, you can't. I'm like, why not? I'm like, oh, that's the Battle Monster. Oh, I'm sorry. Like, dude, this is my first time playing the deck. And at the end, when I won the event, I'm like, I hope that guy sees my picture and is like, how did this dude not know what Crane did and he still won? So I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry. Like I did. That was my first time playing it. Like, what can I say? Like, I don't read cards. I'm a Yu-Gi-Oh player.
Exactly. None of us
So
read. We just assume.
yeah. So, but yeah, Boudin's just like happened to be the deck I like put together, and yeah, just, like I just like teched in double Mind Crush into the deck because like everyone kept searching, and yeah, I just got there.
Yeah.
So
You're like, this seems pretty good.
yeah, well, it was like that, and also like that was like the only. I think that was like one of the only decks I really had like the completed deck to build.
Yeah. And
So I was like, all
it
right,
was
let's
good too. I mean, Yamato, summon Yamato, activate Kaiser, end phase, dump a dude, get your Crane, and
well, so
you're golden.
yeah, well, I did not play Kaiser Coliseum actually.
Really?
I personally did not like that card because I'm not a huge fan of floodgate cards because like I like to like hide like my cards and like I feel like those stun cards like Kaiser Coliseum, like Dimensional Fissure, just like stun cards like that. It's like kind of like revealing your hand. It's like, all right, here's my stuff. Like, answer me. I like to just like hold my cards and just like I'll time when I want to, when I feel it's appropriate, or like I feel like it's going to be like better to my advantage to do so.
Yeah.
So I feel like Kaiser Coliseum is like, here's my Kaiser Coliseum. If you answer this, like I'm far behind. But if you don't, it's like great. Also great card. But if you do answer, it's like, that was like my game plan. So I
Yeah.
just feel
That makes sense.
it's one of my play style. But yeah, so instead I did double Mind Crush. Because first off, I'm like, I can blind Mind Crush, and if I discard a booty card, I don't care. But
Right.
everyone's searching. Tenki, like Mermails, Geargia, like they all searched. So I was like, this seems fine. And this was still with the ruling that if you call it wrong, you can see the hand. And with like you can win matches with information like that. So that's why I opted for the Mind Crush instead over the Kaiser Coliseum. So
Yeah, that's really smart. I like that a lot. I was nowhere near topping or winning anything at that point in my life because I thought Noble Knights were like just this really good deck in 2014. And when I look
um,
back, that was such a bad decision. It was so bad.
yeah, equip cards aren't the greatest thing in Yu-Gi-Oh!
Nope.
yeah,
Nope. Only if it's like if it's 2015 Snatch Steal specifically, then you're pretty good. But yeah, Noble
yeah,
Knights
or like you're playing,
weren't it.
yeah, like, or you're playing like Goki, where like you don't even equip really. You mill the equip cards for the Link monster, I think,
Yeah,
and it's like you're not even equipping. You're just they're just there to be like sent to the grave. So it's
yeah.
like, yeah,
They're
yeah,
just an
this equip
engine
card is just like
requirement. When
exactly, yeah.
do you still play advanced format?
No, so I stopped. I think I think it's like around like Thunder Dragons. I think.
Okay, so like
Um,
2019.
I guess so. Yeah, 2019, 2018. Like those
Somewhere
were
in that.
we started like my new job, which was 2018. So I think I played in one more event after that. Yeah, yeah. So I think it was 2018.
Okay.
Um, yeah, it was like Niagara Falls or something. Um, yeah, because like the first thing was like the new time roll, like that annoyed me. Like I didn't play slow, but it was just the fact that like, oh, like I activated Upstart Goblin, like, oh, like you're done. It's like,
Yeah,
oh,
that's it.
can I
You're
get
done.
the battle phase and win? Like, no, like what? Like, this guy just like used a game mechanic to threatening roar me. This is insane.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was like this is crazy. Like, and it was like in the form of like what are they called? Mech Knights, I think. Mech Knights, like the column
Yeah, the
things.
column guys. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, like they were the slowest deck, and like some guy like would summon a Link Karibo against me. He poked me, and he's like, "All right, time," because I can't attack it because you contribute it to prevent damage or something. I think, and I was
yeah,
like,
I think that's right.
"Yep, you won because you made a Link Karibo, and like you were playing seriously slow because you're playing that deck. And it's not on you. It's really just like the deck. Like the deck is just known for playing slow.
Yeah,
So yeah, so yeah, that was just when I stopped, and I just I was like, all right, I'm starting my new career anyway, so I'm just gonna do that and just like, you know, y'all enjoy the time rules, like all that stuff, and I'll just chill.
yeah, I'm a head out.
Yeah.
So you stopped playing there. Was that pretty much it for you and Yu-Gi-Oh, or did you still just you kind of kept up, kind of kept an eye on the game, and then came back when the Time Wizard stuff started?
No, yeah, I just gave up really. Like I still had some friends that played, but since I used to work for the card shop, Alter Universe for a while, but when I got my like real big time job, like I left that one and like kind of just slowly drifted away from the cards in general. Um, so I didn't really like, keep up. Like I see like stores on Facebook. I'm like, oh, that's cool. Like I don't know what these cards do, but like cool. That I still had like some friends still playing and like they were doing well. But yeah, ultimately, yeah, I just kind of gave up on it.
Yeah, that's understandable. I basically gave up. I gave up advanced format in 2022. It just got to be too much for me, and I was like, I'm gonna try out this Edison thing. You know, this kind of seems more my speed. Kind of get a redo. You know, because I was like a kid when Edison was actually a thing, and I was really bad. Still am, but not quite as bad. And I've never really looked back ever since then.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, I honestly didn't really pay too much attention to like the Edison thing. To like my friend Sean, like I don't know why, like he got really into it. And he's like, yo, try it out with me, try it out with me. I'm like, it's just gonna be a quick draw and like whatever, like blah blah blah. And I was like, you know what, I'll try it. So because I found out there was like a fairy deck. I'm like, wait, fairies? Like what the fuck? Like yeah, like Shiny Angel. I was like how does he even win? And I watched some guy like he's oh like crashed like four recruiters for DD Lady. Then he dropped Chrissy. I was like, oh my god, like that was actually kind of cool. So I built that, and like at our Philly regional, like I was like playing Edison. People were fun, and like I played for like 4 or 5 hours straight, and I was like, this was like one of the most fun I ever had, like playing Ukes. Like it was just, I really enjoyed it. It was like very innovative. There's like weird like ideas like just like pop up. So that was like when I just like started to get in. I was like, all right, like Sean, like let's come up with some like cool like decks or just like try like weird shit and just keep going from there. So that's what just really stuck to me. And yeah, thankfully Konami gave us the Ultimate Time Wizard and was able to pop off some more. So
Yeah. Yep, and that's when you started playing Hero Beat with Neospace and Grand Mole in the main deck, right?
yeah, I think I've heard of that card once or twice.
We're at like 38 minutes out of 45 minutes, and I don't want to spend the last 7 minutes ranting about Grand Mole, even though I definitely could.
Oh, I know. Yeah, we messaged each other. Like I've heard. Yes,
I'll tell
but
you guys a quick story. Quick story. When Tom and I played, we had good matches, we had good games, with the exception of Grand Mole, because I kept drawing multiple Raikos and just getting everything just sent back to my hand. So now that's my most hated Yu-Gi-Oh card.
yeah,
It should
and
be
I
banned.
think at one point it's like you play like an Arcus, and I'm like, yeah, I can't target him, right? Like, yep, like all right, bull.
I remember that. As soon as you played it, I
Yep,
was like, "Oh no, no."
yep,
Yeah,
yep. Oh, yeah, bull was like because yeah, I used Hero Beat at Nationals too, and I literally just changed like two cards, but yeah, I immediately threw Gramble into the main deck, and I'm like, this was the best decision ever. Like
yeah,
he was like one of the most MVP cards in Virginia that I played.
yeah. That card is so good. So now we're
Yep.
kind of looking at Tengu Plant format, and you're going to go back to agents for that format.
Yes. So pretty much in what like ever since I've been playing Yu-Gi-Oh, like every time I like top of the deck, I've only used it once and kind of just like gave up on it because I'm like, all right, one and done.
Yeah,
But Agents was the only deck I've used multiple times that I've used it at a Nationals, Worlds, and a YCS. And I almost topped Worlds with it, but I topped Nationals and a YCS with it. So it's a very, very special deck to me. So I'm like, all right, like Tango format's coming up. Agents are a good deck. All right, I gotta try this out.
yeah.
It's not even a question.
You think that you
So,
prefer
but
Tengu format to Edison format?
I think it's too hard to say like right now. Like I don't know, like Edison right now to me, I don't want to say it's been figured out, but like it might be getting close.
Yeah,
But I don't know if that's just because like there's not enough like other events like happening like all around. Like pretty much all the events are really like in Texas and like Cali, or like North Carolina,
right.
but like none like around like my area, like Philly, Delaware, like Jersey, like kind of thing. Where that was a pretty good scene. Um, but yeah, but even like for YCS, it's like they've only announced like what two, two or three,
Yeah, two or three.
and
It's not
like
many.
yeah, so like I would play every single Ultimate Time Wizard. I would. But like I can't do the one in Vegas, which like kind of sucks. But other than that, like the next one's in April, then like June. So it's like there's just not more like events to like really keep showcasing how like well Edison is doing. Um, but I think with the introduction to Tengu, like that could start up things like as well. It's like it'll just give people like another like set of cards to look at. It's like oh like different ideas and like hey what can we take from Edison to also apply to Tengu format.
Right.
Um, so as in like in one versus the other, it's still too early to say, but I think like right. I mean, like I was like right now it seems kind of biased because like I've been doing Edison for so long. Like I've been like testing my friends with Edison. And, like I don't even have my Tengu deck like built yet. I'm still waiting for like cards. Um, and waiting to see like if they actually do Ultimate Time was for Tengu, and see what like new decks come up because it's like the same way. Like when I first heard Edison, I'm like, okay, whatever, it's quick draw, it's whatever. But then Amaryllis came up, Fairies came up, like Frog Hero. I'm like, what the fuck, Frog Hero? Like, what's next? Like Psychic Dinosaurs? Like, the
Yeah,
fuck? So, but like, it turned out to be like amazing decks, and I'm like, who knows what Tengu format can do?
yeah. Much
So
larger card pool with Tengu and other mechanics like the XYZs.
yeah, exactly. And like no brain control, no oppression. Um, but there's still Dust Shoot, there's Reborn, there's BLS. So it's like,
Yeah,
I like this one better.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, I mean, I think after like a few months of like Tengu format, getting its feet wet and like people trying out new stuff, um, I think Tengu format like could be better just because it's just new things. That's
right.
really all it is. Like people like new thing, new phone. Hey, like you get it. Like new format, new cards, we get it. Like so, but who knows? I mean, if someone can like just break something that beats value, awesome.
Yeah, yeah. They
But
solve a lot of problems. That's for sure.
yes, absolutely, yeah.
I went to my first Tengu tournament a couple weeks ago, and I'm toxic, so I played Gravekeepers, and I think I ruined
Oh
everyone
no, yeah.
else's day. But
Yeah, you still enjoy puppies cry, right?
it
Still
was
licking them or
fun
something?
just playing with a new card pool and against new decks.
Yeah, because like I said, like yeah, when you go to an Edis event, I still remember like it was like before Vayu kicked off really, and also Blackwing, like I already had an idea I was gonna see some Blackwings, but I think at Nationals I played like five or six, and I was like, Jesus Christ, can I please like play something different? But then I found out like, wow, Heroes is really good against Blackwings. I'm like, you know what? Give me every single Blackwing deck you got out there.
Yes, yeah. You
um,
got put through the
I lost
gauntlet,
like
but luckily you had good matchups.
Yeah, like yeah, I think I like only lost to like one, but I beat four or five of them, which was wild.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah,
Hero Beat's crazy in Tengu too. The Shining just goes really hard.
yeah. Well, it's more so on like Pod Duality. That card
Yeah,
just solves so many things that was lacking in the deck. It's like, oh, like you don't have a hero, you need to draw one card at a time to try to get to it, or Pod Duality, you see three cards at a time and just dig deeper. So yeah, no, yeah, hero being Tengu format is definitely viable for
yeah,
sure.
yeah,
And with like everyone main deck Thunder King, like I mean that's not good for hero beat, but they play it too.
yeah,
So
yeah. They also play, and they play
like,
Alias, which can ram into it, which is also nice.
yeah, I mean like the only way to answer Thunder King really is trap cards, obviously, or you one for one it with like a crash, or you just throw away a synchro or exceed summon. Like
Yeah,
so, no matter what, he's going to trade for something.
yeah,
Um, yeah, so yeah, like in my opinion, he is like if Tengu format does like kick off as like well as Edison does, like Thunder King is kind of like the Caius of the format. Like he is just top dog. He is insane. Like that's all I keep telling my friends. I'm like I feel like if Ulti Caius could be 400 or 500 in Edison format, like Thunder King Ultimate could be that in Tengu format because he is just like he's in almost like every deck, like every
yeah.
single deck.
Yeah, I think so too. Like, I haven't checked the prices of the ultimates lately, but the secrets are going way up right now.
Yes, so secrets are like 55 to $65 and ultimates are about I think 230 to 300.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's
it's
crazy.
it's
Yeah,
nuts.
it'll definitely get there, 100%. Because,
Yeah.
like you said, I mean,
Um,
most decks play it, and most decks play it at three.
what was it? Oh yeah, Thunder, yeah. So yeah, he is like stupid high right now. He's yeah, I think the lowest near mint is like 300 and light play is like 230, 240.
I wish I hadn't have gotten rid of mine. I used to have those. Oh, that's so sickening.
Did I say 230, 300? I meant like
Oh no.
it, all right, he's like $100. Like, it's no big deal, man. Like, yeah, but yeah, no, he's an insane card. He is just like GBs will cry if they see him. Like, oh, there's something bigger than 18. It's like, yeah,
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah, and he's a big threat too. Like, um, common maxis are also like really expensive right now.
Yeah, and I still feel kind of weird about that because Maxi, it wasn't like a dom. I don't think it was a dominant thing in that format. Like, it's definitely decent against plants. I don't like it against agents, but people believe it should be used against them. I don't know. But I think it's more of like a side deck card in my opinion. But like I mean, Tengu players they obviously main deck because they play like 25 cards are limited to one, so
Yeah,
they can have cards that draw into their deck more to get to those cards. Like
yeah, that's very true.
so,
Okay,
yeah.
well, we're at about the 50-minute mark, so I guess we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. I've really enjoyed this. I've been looking forward to doing this one for a long time. I got married and honeymoon and bought a house and all that, so it kind of pushed it out further than I really wanted it to be. But I'm happy that we finally got to sit down and do this.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, this is great.
Yeah, a lot of fun. I should be. Are you coming to the YCS in Raleigh in April? Yeah, it's in April.
Yes, I will definitely be there for
Perfect.
sure.
Cool. Sounds good,
Yeah, as
man.
long as there's an event within like 4 hours or so,
Yeah.
I'm good to go.
Okay. Perfect. All right, man. Well, once again, thank you for sitting down with us today, and I guess I'll see you at YCS Raleigh.
Sounds good, man. Catch
All
you
right.
later, man.
All right, man. See you.